Welcome to the first ever video series from the Cajun Gator Hunter. I'm Mark Green. We're in Southwest Louisiana, in Oak Grove, Louisiana, and this is extreme gator farming. You're going to see some incredible video, alligators up close. You're going to see people going out to the actual nesting sites of the alligators, harvesting the eggs, picking the eggs up, taking them back in the airboat to the incubator, and hatching the eggs, and then later on releasing them back into the wild. Today with us, we have the extreme gator hunter himself, live and in color, in person, Rusty Welch. Rusty,
how you doing, Mark?
I'm great, man. I'm excited about this video.
Oh, me too. This video has more footage than you've ever seen before in your life. It's got video of alligators right there. It's got video of alligators just coming everywhere. We got tapes of picking up eggs. We show you how the whole process works. We're gonna go from the beginning to the end. You're gonna see planes, you're gonna see boats, you're gonna see everything that takes to harvest an alligator. Right. And I'm gonna bring you on a trip that you've never seen before in your life.
Up close and personal.
Up close and personal. You're gonna see alligators coming. They're gonna be right there with their mouths open. I even get so close to one, Mark, when she jumps, because it's females,
right.
She jumps and she hits the water actually splashes on the lens of my camera.
Right here in Southwest Louisiana.
Goodbye, Joe, we gotta go, me oh my oh. We gotta go, pull that P-road down the bayou. My Yvonne, sweetest one, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, gator gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my shadow meal. Pick guitar, feel fruit jar, and be jail. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Tippy-do, Fontenot, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. Dress in style, go hog wild, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, voodoo gumbo. Aha! 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my shack meal. Pick guitar, feel fruit jar, and be jail. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, gator gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my shack meal. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be jail. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Hey! Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
How y'all doing, fellas?
All right, man. How you doing?
Just fine, just fine.
Now you're the Cajun Gator Hunter's older brother.
Sure, yeah.
Smarter and better looking, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we got here? Some kind of airboat?
Yeah, it's a horse here. She can go about anywhere you want to go out in the marsh. I can even go across gravel roads. I can go across the blacktop. Nothing stops her.
Nothing stops it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what about when you're flying in one of them helicopters? Anything stop you there?
Oh, yeah. I had an incident one time. Twice in one day, we crashed a helicopter.
Tell me about that.
Well, we was coming in on an alligator nest. We had 2 power lines on each side of it. And we came in, he lowered me down to mark the nest.
And what happened, he had to power it up to get over the power lines again. And when he got about halfway, he just quit on it. He set it back down in the marsh. And we got out, we checked the helicopter out, everything was fine. Decided to try it again, got back in, tried to take back off, and we were going good until we got to the top of the power lines. It cut off again, he crashed on the other side, and we decided to cut it off from right then. We didn't want
But you cleared the power line.
Yeah, we cleared them, but we didn't want to press
You wouldn't be
our luck.
here if you didn't even
Yeah,
enjoy the power.
it was kind of high. They were about 60 foot up in the air.
So the helicopters don't work too good.
Not really. We went from the helicopter to the parachute plane.
Well, that sounds like
It's
better idea.
it's like a go-kart with a fan on the back like this, and got a big parachute, and the fan what powers the whole machine.
Yeah.
And it's easier out of the parachute plane to spot the nest because it's open.
Yeah.
Then the helicopter you got the floorboard in the bottom, you can't see down. The parachute plane, it's all open. You can see on the side and through the bottom, because in the helicopter you can just see out the door. And it's easier, they can maneuver it easier, and it's much better thing.
So you use the parachute plane and the airboat to spot the nest. Tell me, how does all that work? I mean,
Well,
what do you do first?
What we do, we go up in the parachute plane on the helicopter.
Yeah.
We throw a PVC pipe 10 foot long into the ground by the nest, mark it into a GPS, a global positioning system.
But how do you know it's a nest? For people that have never seen one, I've never seen one.
Well, it takes a while to know what it looks like, but it looks like a round bale of hay out in the middle of the marsh.
Okay.
And when you find that, it's just an odd looking thing out in the middle of the marsh. You find that, you mark it in the GPS, we come back to the airboat, get in it, bring it up on the GPS, and we start, the GPS gets you heading in the right direction. The PVC pipe sticking out in the middle of the marsh, you can see it about a mile away. It gets you to the nest. And also, the parachute plane's up in the air at the same time. And he
helping you spot them?
Helping to spot them and that. And after we get finished running like nest number 1, before we take off to nest number 2, we look up at the parachute plane. He got different signs. While we're picking the nest up, he's flying around looking. And if he finds a nest that we missed the first trip out, he just directs me off the second nest onto the nest that we did find, because I got the second nest into the GPS. And we just go to it.
And you harvest those eggs?
We harvest them all. We pick them all up.
Wow, that's incredible. So you went from helicopter crashes to parachute planes and the airboat.
Yes,
so
sir.
which you like better, the airboat or the parachute plane?
I like the airboat because it's on the ground.
Well, Ben, is the boat ready to go?
Yep, everything's ready. Check it out.
Well, Mark, get them earphones on.
Okay.
Come on over here. And I'll tell you what, we've been talking about it long enough. Let's go show you exactly what happens. Okay?
Sounds good. Okay, Cajun Gator Hunter, we're out in the airboat, we see the white pole, we spotted the nest. What do we do next?
The first thing you do, you drive up, and when you get to the nest, you got to be very careful, because these eggs are like porcelain. You don't want to shake them, you don't want to disturb them too much. What you do, you start tearing the top of the nest off real slow, and then all of a sudden, you'll find the cavity that the eggs are sitting in.
Okay.
Okay, now it's very important, this one very important thing right here. You got to take a marker, and you got to bring it out there, and you got to mark the top of each individual egg as it lays in the nest.
Now, why is that important?
Well, what happens is, the first to the third day, that's called a slimy egg. That's when they just laid them. It's okay, you don't have to do that. But after that, the little embryo inside attaches to the top of the egg. Well, what happens is, it's very delicate. That's why you got to handle them like porcelain. If you take that egg and you turn it one way or the other, or give it a good jar, it'll tear that embryo off the top. And what happens, it'll bleed to death.
Oh, so you don't want that.
So you don't want that to happen. So that's why you got to have Ben, which is my brother. He drives the airboat because he drives it so smooth. He's a real good airboat driver. And you put that in there and you pick those eggs up and you just got to set them real slow, and that keeps them from tearing.
Now, you set them in the nesting material in some kind of cage, or what do you call that?
Right, what you have to do, you take the top part of the nest and you set it up into a basket. We call
Kind
it.
of a basket, okay.
Yeah. And then you got to take that and put it directly, set them into the thing with the mark facing up.
Just the way you found them.
Right, just the way you found them.
Now we've got the eggs out of the nest that we found out there, and they're in the basket, in the boat, okay, with nesting material on the bottom. What do you do then?
Okay, we take some more nest material.
More?
Put it on top, right.
Okay.
Because you got to secure them eggs down there so they won't move while you're riding around in the boat. You got to keep that mark on the top. Remember, that mark is very important.
Because if you don't have it just right, you could lose the embryo.
Exactly, right.
Okay, but then I see you guys putting more of that nesting material in these sides. What's up with that?
Whenever you go up to a nest, there's 3 things you'll find. The first thing is a snake.
Yeah.
Which is okay. The second thing are bees. Sometimes you'll be very seldom find that. But the third thing is ants.
Beat them ants.
Oh, ants are the worst. What happens, 2 reasons. What happens whenever you're picking them eggs up, you got to be careful. Like I was saying, they're like porcelain. You can't jar them, you can't do nothing. And when you open these nests up, you got these ants crawling around. And they're on the eggs, they're everywhere. Well, you still got to pick them up. So you're reaching your hands down in there, and these ants are crawling up your arms, and they're biting. Okay, but you can't. Careful, you gotta be slow. Set them down, then you gotta shake the ants off. Get the ants off your arm. I've seen it where people come in picking up eggs and have a lot of ants out like that, and they have ant bites all the way up their arms. I've even seen them have to take their pants off out in the middle of the marsh because they jump on the nest and don't see the ants. By the time they see the ants, they're up in their legs right here. It's too late. You gotta get on the boat, take your pants off, and get the ants off your legs and stuff like that, and then get back to work.
We're here with the Cajun Gator hunter's father, Benny Welch, out here in Oak Grove, Louisiana. And we want to know a little bit about your background, how you got started in all this, and what did you do before you got into this alligator farming?
Well, it all started a long time ago. I went to college, got an education, became a school teacher. At that time, pay wasn't too good, so we had to supplement our income one way or the other. And hunting alligators was one of it. And as the alligator farming came along, got into alligator farming, and along with being a school teacher, coach, and finally a principal at an elementary school, and one thing just led into the other.
Well, that's great. So you've been here in this part of the country all your life?
All my life.
And your family has land here and had land
Right,
for years?
right.
Okay. Well, we're getting ready to go look at the incubator barn. Now, what's the most important thing to remember when we're first bringing those eggs in?
Whenever we bring the alligator eggs in, the most important thing of all is we have to treat them right and get them hatched, because if we don't, it's all in vain. So whenever we take them off the truck, we bring them in real slow. We fix up the incubator basket with the grass that we take out of the nest, and we put them all in there and with the marks up. And then we take the same grass and put on top. We can't use hay because hay is too dry and the eggs would dry out.
Okay, we got the eggs in the basket and nesting material all around them, and we got them in the incubator. So what's next?
Well, that's the neatest thing about the whole process, Mark. What happens next? Tell them about that.
Well, it's very important that you keep the temperature in the incubator at 89 degrees.
Okay.
For that, your sexes are going to be 60-40. 60% females, 40% males, or however.
And that's determined by the temperature.
Right, determined by the temperature. Also, if it's the other way, you'll only have like 5% runts. Whereas, if the temperature is lower than 89, you'll have all females. But worse, you'll have probably 20 to 30% runts that won't grow. And if the temperature is above 90 degrees, you'll have all males, but then you'll also have that runt solution that you can't have. It makes no difference if they're male or female. We just want them all to grow. We don't have any runts. That's why we have to keep the temperature at 89 degrees.
The goal is to get the alligator to 4 feet as fast as possible. Okay. And we can do that in our environment that we set for them. But if you hatch them out, you can spoil the whole setting by making runs, with just messing up the temperature.
Okay.
So that's why it's very crucial, because whenever they get put in the incubator, somebody has to be there all the time. Because if that temperature gets too high or too low for at least an hour, you could ruin your whole incubator, and you can put about 500-600 eggs in the incubator.
Right.
So, and that's a big chunk right there.
Well, what would happen if you just let nature take its course and let all these alligators out here just produce their young on their own, and instead of harvesting these eggs and incubating them, what's the big deal?
Many things. There's a very high mortality rate in the alligator population. Number one, if we have a flood, it's going to flood the nest, all the eggs die. Extreme drought, it gets too hot, the eggs don't hatch. If the eggs do hatch, if it's on side of a stream or on side of a lake, as the little alligators go into the lake, into the stream, the predators such as the catfish, the bass, the herons, the coons, other alligators, garfish, gobble them up. So there's a very high mortality rate. Of course, that's the way nature made it, because these are things that the other animals are supposed to feed on.
So, has there ever been a problem with the alligator population getting down real low?
See, what happens was the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries was responsible for bringing alligators back from extinction. A place called Rockefeller Refuge in Grand Chenier actually took the alligator population, went and perfected all these things you saw today on the tape. That's how we know about them, and literally brought them back from extinction. They were on the extinct list, you know, endangered species list.
Right.
Now they're on the protected list. That is a big thing people nowadays think. They think an alligator is an endangered species. It's not. It's not supposed to be everywhere in the United States. It's in Louisiana, Texas, some of Mississippi, and in Florida, and you know, the Gulf Coast of Alabama now. But alligators were on the point of being extinct, and they brought them back with these type of management plans and stuff like that. And that's right down the road from where we are right now.
I thought it was close by.
Yeah, it's right down there. So.
And the two guys who were responsible for doing this mainly is Ted Joannan and Larry McNeese. These two guys are the guys that you can say saved the alligators.
Okay, if y'all are collecting all these eggs and hatching all these alligators, how do any new alligators get back to the marsh?
Well, what we do, they have what's called a release program.
Okay.
When you pick up a certain amount of alligators, say like 1,000, you got to put 14% of that back into the marsh.
So you can't harvest all of them.
Well, you harvest them all. Well, exactly. You don't keep them all.
You can't keep them all for yourself.
Right. What we do, we raise them to 4 feet.
Okay.
And then when we get them to 4 feet, 14% of that landowner, so just say he has 1,000 alligators, we got to put that percentage back, 40. So what we do, we raise them to 4 feet, and you can tell by this. You got a 6-inch alligator that hatches out the egg, gets in the water. It's gonna get eaten by something. We take it, raise it to 4 feet in 1 year, and put it back out in the marsh. I mean, it has a heck of a lot better chance at 4 foot than it does at 6 inches. And what they do, they regulate this. They take tags, toe tags, put on the alligators. They cut notches out the tails, different things like that. And Rockefeller Refuge, which is down the road, comes down here and they record everything. And then during wild season, if you kill one that has a tag or a notch in the tail, they record it. And the tag numbers, they know what area of the land down in Louisiana it went on. So that's how they kind of regulate everything. My dad right here, he's got a real good story to tell you about releasing alligators.
We were releasing alligators 2 years ago, and I was showing this guy how to do it. And it was the very last alligator, and the mouth was taped. And when I took the tape off, as I let the alligator go, it just went and cut me and bit the end of my finger off. Lost my finger. I used to be able to play the guitar, now I can't play the guitar anymore.
Show them it compared to the other finger.
Oh yeah.
Over the year, my families have had many encounters with these alligators doing these processes. I'm gonna let my brother Ben right here tell you the one about the close encounter. Matter of fact, there's 2 stories he had a close encounter with big female alligators.
We pulled up to a nest with the airboat. Rusty was with us and one of the landowners, and they were supposed to be protecting it with the poles.
Well, no, I was helping.
Well,
Remember, he wanted you. He was the. I'm gonna watch for the mom.
Well, y'all both weren't doing your job.
I was helping him put the eggs.
So I jumped on the nest and to collect the eggs.
and I was in the boat.
Well, yeah, and I broke the nest open, started working on the eggs, and they were jawing instead of doing their job. And before I knew it, I felt something hit me on the back end, and when I looked down, the alligator, the big female, was right there, right at my back door, getting ready to take a bite out of it. I jumped in the boat, told the boys, I said, y'all ain't doing y'all job. And the landowner got so nervous, he had to sit down, and he couldn't move the rest of the day because he was so upset because it came back close.
Tell them about the time we yanked his hat.
My brother bought a brand new LSU cap, and we was out in the marsh, and we was going up to a nest to collect the eggs. And I got on the nest, started collecting the eggs and all that, and he was protecting me from the alligator. We didn't have a pole or nothing to fight the gator off with, so he took his brand new LSU cap off to swat the alligator away. And that old alligator reached up and grabbed that LSU cap and took it down in the mud and just wobbled in it, then left. And that's the Florida Gators. That's what they do to those LSU Tigers, you know. It's just a bad thing.
This is true. This
It's
really
true
happened.
story. It's all happened.
Yeah, everything.
But that's some recent stories we had. We're gonna go back with my dad right here, and he's gonna tell you about a story. The very first female he ever encountered
The very, very first time we picked up alligator eggs, we went to the first nest. Didn't know what was going on, and the PVC pole was sticking in the mud. Well, I picked up this pole, and I was going to fight off the alligator. Naturally, I held it real tight, and she was there ready to go, ready to get us. And I reached, and I hit that alligator. I punched the alligator with the stick. She reached up, grabbed it real tight, and pulled. And I was extended, holding on real tight. She pulled me out of the boat, right in front of her. Not used to it. Just all these horror stories I heard about alligators. I just knew she was going to cover me. And I looked up and saw that alligator. I almost messed all over myself.
Oh yeah. But I tell you what, we've seen a lot of things. Me and my dad and my brother, we've been around, saw a lot of things, did a lot of things. But the most incredible story ever happened to Cajun Gator hunter here was me and my dad went to this farm in North Louisiana. And we were going to pick up some eggs with the farmer. So we got there and we pulled up to the pens and opened the gate, drove the truck in there like like supposed to, we thought, had our PVC pipes. They were 8 foot long when we got out in the pens. Well, anyway, me and old daddy, I had the pipe and the farmer had the other pole. It's not a pipe, it's a pole, PVC pole. And we were walking out and daddy had the bucket. So we start walking down the levee, and usually if you don't walk by a nest, the mama don't come see you. When we started walking, they started coming up. It wasn't just mamas, it was daddies too. And they were coming up to get us. And I popped them in the head and walked by and, what's going on, So we finally got around to the back of the thing after we done walked through about 10 of them, all at the same time, which you never see. We got to the back and got to the nest. And he was on that side, daddy was in the middle, and I was on this side. And the reason we were like that, the alligators were coming, and the fence was behind us, so we knew they weren't coming from behind. So I was fighting off an alligator, and I looked, here come another one. And I looked over there, and the farmer, he had 2 of them over there he was fighting off. So I hit one, and whenever I hit it, she bit towards the other one, and they bit each other. They started fighting, and I said, look at here, boy. And I was watching them, and I'm telling you, it happened in a second like that. Both of them stopped, and they both jumped on the land right in front of me. I bet they weren't 3 foot away from me. I started trying to get them back. Daddy was right behind me. The other farmer done backed up. They backed him up right to him. Daddy was like this trying to get the egg because we were both right here on him. Where we started, we was about 3 or 4 foot away from him. So we finally got back to the truck after just picking up the one nest, and our 8 foot PVC pipes were now 5 foot because they were biting them PVC pipes and breaking them. And Daddy said, my goodness, I've never seen them be this bad before. And that old farmer said, well, I guess I shouldn't have waited 2 weeks to not feed them. I guess I should have fed them, yesterday before we did this. It's been 2 weeks. So when he backed that truck up, they all thought we were feeding. So they were coming up to eat, and we were walking out. So, and I mean, that's the scariest I've ever been, or the worried I've ever been about picking up alligator eggs. I mean, that was unbelievable. It was extreme to the max. My heart was pumping like it's never been before.
Look at here, these alligators that are feeding. These are aggressive alligators. They're 10, 12 foot alligators. The catfish that they're feeding them right now are 8 to 10 pounds. Usually alligators are not this aggressive unless for 3 reasons. You go by their nest at feeding time, or if you step on one.
And you must remember that what you see in here is not good, because if that alligator will jump up and grab you by the arm and start twisting, it will twist your arm off at the elbow or at the shoulder, and you'll die. You'll bleed to death. You just can't do this with alligators.
And a wild alligator won't do this, what you're seeing right here. The wild alligator is scared to death of it. It really is. These alligators are used to humans. These alligators know humans. They've been around humans all their life, so they're not scared of it. You cannot do this in the wild in South Louisiana. If you walk up to a big alligator like this in South Louisiana, it will go under and go away. The only ones that won't are the ones on the side of the road that people feed, or the ones that are in the ponds behind the house that people feed and get them accustomed to it. But the problem with that is, you throw food in there, they'll go eat the food. But if your little puppy dog jumps in, or your nephew falls in, or your niece, they don't determine between the two. They can't differentiate. So same thing, that's food. And that's when you have a lot of attacks in South Louisiana. These gators have been slaughtered and are ready to begin the finishing process. The first step is skinning. As you can see right here, we have our skinners skinning alligators. It's very important that they take their time not to nick the hides. That decreases the value of the hide, and you just can't have that when you're selling them. So what they got to do, they got to be very careful. Go very slow, just like you see the guy right here doing. Take your time, you won't cut the hide, and everything will be all right. The second thing we look at is the meat. Now you have to take care of the meat to a point where you can sell it to restaurants and to the public. And as you can see right here, it's very good meat, very white meat. You got red meat, all different kind of cuts, and they all taste wonderful. Here we have the alligator hides. They are salted down and are being prepared to be sent to the tanneries. Now we have our products. We have Cajun beans, gator sticks, crawfish sticks, and venison sticks. Boy, they talk about good. Then we got the novelty heads, small, medium, large, and look at old Gage Gator himself right there. Ain't he something? Then we got the byproducts, the feet and the teeth. What we do is for tourists, we make necklaces, keychains, and back scratchers out of those so they can bring them home. And look at here, we got our new line of necklaces. We call them designer necklaces. And man, if they look this good on this good looking woman from Southwest Louisiana, what you think they're gonna look like on you? Whew! Boy, that was some extreme stuff we just saw with those alligators. Wasn't that unbelievable? Speaking of that, I want to tell you 3 things about my tapes. First thing, nothing was staged. Everything was full-blown nature. Second thing was none of my alligators were tranquilized or drugged. Everything was real, nothing staged. Other thing I want to tell y'all about is if you do see this tape and you enjoy it, please do not go out in the marshes of Florida and Louisiana and try this. Alligators are very good animals, very beautiful animals to see out in the marsh, but they're something not to play with. You do not go try to touch an alligator. You do not try to feed an alligator. They will hurt you. They should leave you alone, but it better be on the safe side. Don't try anything you saw today on this tape because we are professionals and we've been doing this almost all our lives. I've been doing it since I was about a sophomore in high school, so I've been doing it quite a bit and I've studied them and I know everything about them. Thank you very much, and I hope you'll be looking out for my next 2 tapes. I'm gonna have Cajun Gator Hunter hunting, and it's gonna have a lot of extreme shots in that, and then at the end I'm gonna have a Cajun Gator Hunter Extreme, which is gonna have everything on it. Extreme shots like you've never seen before. Till next time, this is the Cajun Gator Hunter saying, see you later, alligator.
Crawfish pie, gator gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my chef a meal. Big guitar, fill for a jar, and be Gale. Son of a gun will have big fun on the bayou. Hey! Yeah.